What's up and welcome to the channel. Today we have the one you guys have all been waiting on, my most requested gun on this channel. Hopefully it gets 1 million views because I've seriously had that many requests for this gun, and I cannot wait to go through the ins and outs of this one and show you everything about it. And we're going to see if this gun is really worth the hype. Now, it has taken me almost a year to find this gun. Normally it doesn't take me that long, but I was able to come across this thing at a pretty decent deal. I thought it was going to be a lot more than what I paid for it, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. But this is the one, the CZ P10C. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. As you can see, you get a hard case, manual lock, paperwork, everything you would normally expect comes with this one. Obviously, you have the gun. You have two 15-round magazines. These are actually the P07 mags. So if you have the 17-round magazines, you can use those in this gun as well. You're going to get 2 sets of back straps, and then the one that's on the gun. The one that comes on it is actually the small, and then you have a medium and large, and you also have a tool right there. So you can swap those out. And then here is your other magazine. So let's go ahead and get the gun out and show you all the ins and outs of this one. I do have a holster for it, by the way. Holster was nice enough to send one of these out. We've actually already reviewed this holster, and I told you guys in that review that I was confident that this thing would fit amazing, and as you can see all the way around, it fits amazing. So I kind of called that one, but you know, it's everything they send out is like that. It just fits great. So I have been carrying this gun a little bit, and I'll report back to you guys on how it did there. Let's go over the features here really quick. So you have your single slot rail right there, similar to the Glock. You have a squared off trigger guard that is slightly serrated there in the front. Kind of dips around right there, and you can see how wide open that trigger guard is. So if you're using gloves or anything like that, you'll have plenty of room. High undercut under the trigger guard, and what is really nice about this grip is it is very aggressive. I tend to like grips like that because as you're firing, you're going to appreciate that. But what you have all the way around are these little pyramids on the sides, on the front strap, and on the back strap. And whenever you're firing, man, you have these impressions in your hand. I promise you that. All right, you have fully ambidextrous controls, magazine release, slide stop. For you left-handed shooters, you will appreciate that, I am sure. And what's nice is they've kept everything really low profile to the frame. So that's good for right-handed shooters that don't really need that. It's not really in your way whenever you index it or whenever you're firing it. So that's a good thing. We already talked about the magazines, 15-round magazines. You have front and rear slide serrations. They are actually very usable in the front. So if you do your press checks, this isn't something I normally do, but for those guys that like to do it, you have them right there. And then of course in the rear as well. One of the nice things is, from what I've seen, is all the flat dark earth frame guns actually come with the night sights. So you see you have that orange dot there in the front, and then you have the white dots in the rear. Pretty decent notch cut out in the rear, and getting this thing on target was actually very, very quick. So I like these sights, and apparently you can use many different sights with this gun. In the front, all you have is a little Allen screw, so it's not pinned or anything, and that's what one of your Allen wrenches, that's why you get one of those, so you can actually change that out, and then you can change the rear out as well. Now, if you want to change the back strap, all it is a little punch pin. So take your little, I think it's a 16-inch punch, and you can just punch that right out of there. Takedown notches, very similar to Glock. And one nice little thing is they kind of gave you a little stippling area right there. So whenever you index the gun or you have your thumb up there and you're actually ready to fire, it gives you something to hold on to. So that was kind of nice. And that's on both sides. So one thing that we had was the Canik TP9SF. That only came on the one side, on the left side of the pistol. What's cool about this is it comes on the right hand side as well for left-handed shooters. So fully ambidextrous, every feature you can think of, they've thrown it into this gun. Now we will talk about the trigger after the shooting part of the review, but specs here really quick. The MSRP is $499. I paid $469, so not too bad at all. The barrel length is 4.02 inches. The height is 5.2 inches. The width is 1.2 inches. The unloaded weight is 26 ounces, and your overall length is 7.3 inches. Now, you can kind of gauge what that is like, but in order to really show you, where this gun kind of fits, we'll grab the M&P new compact, the M2.0, slide to slide. They are almost identical, and if we put them on their backs, let's see, Mrs. Heckshot will get down here and show you exactly how tall they are. The CZ is just a hair taller. Now let's grab the trusty Glock 19, because I know a lot of you guys will ask how it compares to that. I don't want that one, we want this one. And it's going to be just a little bit taller right there, and in the front it will be a little bit longer, but all the way around we'll put them all three like this, just like that. You can see you have a very gradual progression right there as far as grip length. It might make a little bit of difference if you're carrying this gun. You might find it a little bit harder to hide it, but man, you're talking probably less than 1/4 of an inch. It's not going to be the biggest deal, so they are very close when it comes to that. All right, so let me show you how this gun breaks down, and then we will get to some shooting here. Obviously you want to make sure it's clear. Drop your mag. Really the easiest way to do it is just like a Glock. Pull the trigger, cheat back on the slide, pull it off just like that. You can see you have a single captive recoil spring, and then there's your barrel right there. You have a little bit different of a striker block system, so this is your internal safety, and as opposed to just a plunger that pushes down, this one actually moves out towards the outside of the slide, and then the striker can be pulled back. So that was a little interesting. And then the internals are pretty much the same as any other striker fired polymer frame wonder. These guns are just great, easy to clean, easy to break down, and make sure that you keep up with them. So put it back together, just goes on there just like that. So that's pretty much all the ins and outs. After we get back, after we've shown you the shooting, we're going to talk about how it's shot. We're also going to do pros and cons, and I'm going to give you my overall opinion, and we're going to see if the CZ P10C is actually the best striker fire gun out there. I don't know about the best, but we will see if this gun lives up to the hype. I will see you guys in a minute. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Damn, this thing is one heck of a shooter. It impressed all of us. We were at my buddy John's house, and even he was impressed with it. And it's just an amazing shooter. I mean, for a striker fire gun, this gun is like, at least the trigger, it's like PPQ good. And I don't say that very often. You guys know that. If you follow the channel, I don't really compare anything to the PPQ trigger because it's just amazing. Well, this gun is kind of on par with that, guys. I'm telling you. So let me go ahead and show you the how the trigger looks, and then we will show you the weight. You have your little safety dingus right there. You have a little bit of take up, and it breaks. Reset right there, and it breaks. Very, very impressed with the trigger. This thing is great. Shooting was on point. We were pretty much all on target. Let's see what it weighs in at. 5 pounds 4 ounces. Now they do mention a break-in period on their website, and they mention after the break-in period. They didn't really mention any like round count or anything like that, but after the break-in period, whatever that may be, they say it's going to be around 4.5 pound break. So obviously we're not there yet, but 4 pounds 13 ounces, right around 5 pounds, you're pretty dang close right there. Let's go ahead and talk about the uses here really quick. We kind of touched on concealed carry. I have been carrying this gun. It's not ideal for a lot of people, but if you have a good holster, you have a good gun belt, we have links to those things down in the description. You can carry this gun with comfort. Your spare magazine, one of the universal mag carriers, I got to tighten that up, but you can carry this along with it. And you know, if you're somebody that values your round count, this might be a good one for you to put in rotation. Now the rough texturing grip inside the waistband, I personally like to have a shirt in between my skin and this grip. It's similar to the M&P M2.0, not as aggressive, but you'll definitely start to feel it on your skin if you don't have an undershirt. So you can carry this gun, but where I think it really shines is at the range and home defense. You have your night sights, and then you have your rail that you can hook up a light or a laser. So home defense and at the range, this thing is a range beast. I mean, it's like the PPQ. It's on par with that gun. We didn't have any hiccups, and the thing is just an amazing shooter. Pros and cons. So let's go through this here really quick. Pros, the value on this gun. This could be like a $600 gun, $600+ gun probably. Now I know you're thinking, man, it's just a striker fire gun. I mean, no striker fire gun should be that much. This gun could be up there, and for us to be paying, you know, $469, I think you can get the all black versions for even cheaper than that with night sights, 2 magazines. That's a heck of a value right there. The trigger, like I said, it's PPQ good. So if you've ever shot a PPQ, you know what I'm talking about. If you've never shot a PPQ, you should definitely try one, and I think this trigger is on par with that one. The sights are great. Like I said, you have that contrasting orange sight, so your eye just draws to that thing, and I really love it. It's kind of like, I personally like those sights that have a little different contrast in the front. I just feel like it helps me pick up that sight a little bit easier. But it's like the X-ray sights on the Legion. Your eye just gets drawn right to it, and $460 to come with night sights and a really good pair of night sights, that's impressive. Other functions of the gun, it worked flawlessly. Slide serrations, it's pretty easy to manipulate. All right, so if you have weaker dexterity in your hands, no problem there. Dropping the slide with the slide stop, you might see that as a con. Not exactly the easiest thing to do, so you might just want to do your normal racking like that. Cons, the biggest one, first and foremost, I absolutely hate this mag release. Now, I don't know if it's gonna weaken or, you know, maybe get a little easier over time, but both sides, that thing is a pain to release. With slide open, I mean, you really got to press that sucker into the frame to get it to release, and it is stiff. Not a fan of that whatsoever. And then the grip texturing, Mrs. Headshot, she was not the biggest fan of this. You can even see the indentations in my hand just from holding it like this. So when you're firing, you really feel that grip. I personally love it, but you know, some people may not like the really rough texturing. Other than that, the balance, the way it shoots, I think you guys probably already figured out I am a huge fan of this gun. I'm ashamed that I did not have this gun sooner to show you guys. I mean, we're like 8 months, almost a year late to the table with this thing, but I think it was definitely worth the wait. This thing is an awesome gun. Not many cons to speak of on this one. Now, I think there are some suppressor-ready models that you can run, which would be even better, in my opinion, because we run a lot of suppressors, so I think that would be a very cool option. But all the way around, I think the gun just does a fantastic job, and not a lot of cons to speak of. So I, of course, want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Was it worth the wait? Absolutely. I think it is one of my top striker-fired options. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. We will see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.